They offer human sacrifice.
Being sacrificed in those times was an honor. I have a lot of friends in Mexico actually that have been suffering to be able to get their visa, and I was fortunate enough to live in Tokyo, Japan. I think Japan was just a complete cultural shock for me.
If you know biryani, it's like the tacos for us.
Okay, what is it made out of? Spain Spanish is a lot more, whereas Mexican Spanish, I am a business consultant, but on the side, I do the first 12 days of December, they do different parades. I would start with obvio, and then I'd go with neta.
Do you know anything about Bangladesh?
Very, very little. I'm open to learn. Special appearance.
Oh, we have two guests now.
Two guests, yes.
Shagatum everyone, welcome to Bengalscape, where we bring real stories from real people. Today we have a very special guest with me. She is half American and half Mexican. Please welcome Itza. How you doing today? Yay!
Hi! Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking.
Thank you.
I would ask the same, but I know you kind of have a cold, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I just wanted to do this on time because I know you're busy and, I get busy too.
Thank you.
So
Thank you
really
so much
appreciate
for
your
that.
time. So are you currently living in the US?
No, I'm currently living in Mexico City.
Oh, great.
I've been in the city for 6 months now.
Sure. All right. So honest question, which place do you prefer for living, US or Mexico?
I prefer Mexico 100%.
And the
It's going to be
reason?
really hard to get me back in the US. And I know that's a hot take. It's very problematic, that opinion. A lot of people prefer the US or would want the opportunity to live in the US, but I prefer Mexico. I do.
Is there any specific reason or is it just a general feeling of yours?
I think it's highly depends on, it is a general feeling of mine, but also I think the Mexican culture is a lot more united. There's a lot of sense of community here. I think in the States it's a little bit more individualistic,
Right.
where you have your set routine and you do what you want, like what you need to do every single day, and you don't give yourself that much space to live. And here in Mexico, I think that you have that opportunity to see your friends more often during the week and just connect with others and connect with your city in general a lot easier.
No, I definitely agree. I think the way I met you online on Instagram was when I came across a comment of yours where you commented about mental health, how important it is, right? So speaking of that, I think it's very important to have a friendly environment, an atmosphere which is full of positive energy, positive interactions, and a sense of being social, right? If you're in a society which is very isolated, I think it takes a toll on the mental health.
I think it does. And that's probably something, as someone my age, it obviously depends on what city you live in, because there's bigger cities like New York where maybe it is a little bit more social than where I was. I was in Atlanta or Roswell. But I do think that being able to have a community and have people who you can support yourself with, for example, friends that you can go see when you're feeling down or you can call with, or just meet up to get a quick coffee. I think that's really important to be able to get out of your head sometimes, because sometimes you get stuck in your head too much and it's easy to stay there when you're living a pretty lonely life routine,
I know this is a tough question, but since we are talking about it, have you ever experienced any kind of discrimination or any sort of racism while living in the US?
Ironically, I have, and my dad is fully American, so he's this white man with blue eyes, and he looks nothing like me. And it's funny though, because my sister looks more like him. And whenever we'd go out, they wouldn't think we were sisters, or they would treat her a lot differently than they would treat me. It was very noticeable. When I was in high school, I think some teacher got on to me and tried to say that I was being racist when I referred to him as African American, and then he later referred to me as a or like a wetback, and it was a whole thing. But I think that's the worst thing that I've witnessed. But I can see a slight change in how people treat you.
You're talking about the new generations?
No. I think older generations, definitely, but how they treat others. But I think habits are also repeated. So how you're raised is how you treat people. And of course, there is a new generation, as we saw with like the Trump voters, and how there was a lot of young voters in his last election. I think there is a younger generation that probably holds some of these same feelings, no?
Like racist and kind of white supremacist kind of ideology.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. And what you gave the example earlier, it didn't make sense. It's so ridiculous. Like you called someone African American, which is not even a racist term, and they called you like the B word, which is a derogatory term, actually. So that's really bad. Okay, but yeah, that's brave of you to share these stories, because a lot of people, they choose not to speak up, and people think, oh, it doesn't happen as much anymore. But I think it's important to speak about these things. So, okay, taking a step back, let's talk a bit about your journey and what you're doing currently in life. Tell the viewers, like, what are you doing in life right now?
So I am a business consultant, but on the side, I do events, and I try to do at least one event every month. And this consists of creating a different experience for my community. So that means I started with a blind dinner where you'd have like a 5-course meal, and you'd eat the meals with your hands and be able to use all your senses. And then I had a masquerade ball, and I've had a singles night last night, which is a lot of fun. I got some people texting me this morning like, hey, I actually made a match with this person, and we went on a date like after the singles night, which is amazing. But it all focuses on one really important thing, and that's living. For me, that's being able to share an experience, share a moment with another human being, and be able to connect with strangers and say, hey, I did this random new thing with a stranger. I learned so much about them, and I enjoyed the moment, and I stayed alive in that moment, you know? I think that's very important to me, and that's what my club, Macabro, that's what it's called, is all about.
That's beautiful. I think you're connecting people in that platform, and not a lot of businesses focus on real connections. So this is something that plays a deep role in people's lives. What is the name of the page?
The page is El Club Macabro, which is basically the macabre club. But I'll comment it on your video as well.
Okay, yeah. We will show the picture. This is the Instagram page. You guys can follow. Of course. Recently, Trump made it really hard, like for immigration.
To get a visa. I have a lot of friends in Mexico actually that have been suffering to be able to get their visa. And I feel for them, because they're people who don't even want to live there. They just want to go travel, see the Grand Canyon, Disney.
I love Disney. Oh yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Right. So you have traveled to a few countries. You mentioned Japan one time. So could you please tell us what made Japan special or stand out?
Of course. So I'm someone who has moved 31 times in their life. Countries wise, I've only lived in 4, which is a small number for the amount of times that I've moved. But I was fortunate enough to live in Tokyo, Japan for a little bit under the year, and I loved it. It's just coming from a country that is so corrupt and spirit free like Mexico, and coming from a country that's very loud, I guess, and drastic and diverse like the United States. I think Japan was just a complete cultural shock for me. Everyone is so respectful and clean, and I think what I admired most is the respect towards others. Like I would see the typical example of someone sweeping the street, but they wouldn't just sweep the street outside of their house. They would sweep the entire street to make sure that the entire street is clean for everyone. And you see that action in everything. Like they would make sure that the train is always kept, or the metro is always kept clean, so that way everyone can enjoy it. And there would be an order of how you get on that train, and an order of how you get off, or how you go upstairs, and how you eat. And I think this respect of every little habit that you do in everyday life is something you don't see in other countries. Absolutely. And something a lot of countries need. Like I think if Mexico was 1/4 a little bit more like Japan in that way, we'd be doing great things.
Same can be said for my country. I think no matter, like, people love blaming the government, and at the end of the day, we know governments can be corrupted, not perfect at all, but if people from the ground level are not willing to take part and willing to be responsible citizens, it's the people, you know, if the people are not good, then no matter which government comes, there's no change happening. So I think that's very basic. But you said it right. Like Japanese people are very humble, and they're very disciplined. Like you cannot teach that. They really are very disciplined.
No, it is beautiful. And it's ironic. I know I've said that Mexico is a place where you can feel like a community, but I think when it comes to habits, like individual habits of taking care of society, it's super individualistic as well.
Mm.
I see Mexicans, they have this phrase that always says, as long as it's not in my backyard, like as long as it's not in my yard. And I think that goes across a lot of aspects, because if you're not taking care of your neighborhood, then how are you going to make any progress in life? Like everyone's just looking at their family, their house, their yard, and it's not going to help any situation. So I think that's one place where we need to start as a society to look more into, like, how do we take care of each other, not just ourselves?
Right. I think language really reflects a lot about the culture. I'm just laughing because you gave me an example of a phrase from your country, right?
Yes.
We also have a phrase. It's something like "Nije khaile baper nam." It means when you do good, it's doing good for your family. So do good for your family. Don't care about others. So I think it's very, very self-centered, very narcissistic, and very stupid as well. Like if you're only focusing on yourself, and if the neighborhood goes to the ruins, then you are surrounded by danger, basically. So
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense, right?
No, it doesn't. I love it when different cultures have similar sayings or when they have similar habits in that way. I think this is going to be a little random, but and you can cut this out if you want. Yesterday, I was sent a TikTok or a reel describe or comparing Chinese culture with Mexican culture and how they're more similar than what one would think. We have the same types of foods, the same types of sayings, even the same,
Oh, wow.
I'd say. The video was saying how women are a lot similar and how they dramatize certain things. And I was like, it's crazy how countries and whole different continents can be so similar sometimes.
What do you think? Like, is there any tangible connection, or is it just like just possible people can be just similar?
I think so. I think there has to be. I mean, I would love to study history more to understand how everything was influenced. Because, for example, I believe there's a city in Sinaloa, Monterrey. I'm not sure. It's on that coast, the west coast of Mexico. And I know that a large population of Chinese people migrated a long time ago and made a whole Chinatown, no? And it'd be interesting to see how, I don't know, immigration has affected these types of habits.
No, for sure. The field of study is called anthropology, I think, which is the development of, and it is indeed interesting. For example, people compare Mexicans and just Latin Americans to Indians in our continent. Very vibrant, very colorful, very friendly, So
I think so.
There are some correlations. Maybe the food also has, or the climate, like there are different factors that could affect behavioral traits in the DNA. I'm not sure, but it is interesting. Like if you go to the colder climates, people tend to be more reserved, right? And the warmer climates, people are just wanting to say hi and
a lot more loose, I think.
Right.
Even physically, yes.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
So like you went to Japan and you said to me you liked sushi, or you generally like sushi, right?
I love sushi. Right now I'm actually on a sushi trend. I've been wanting to eat it all week. Sushi, sashimi, everything. Raw fish is very much one of my favorite foods.
Oh, me, same here. So would you rather like eat sushi or eat tacos? Like which one would you prefer?
That's a great question. I think I'm going to get canceled on this one, but I would prefer sushi.
All right. You're just a different one.
Of me, but yeah.
No worries. Yeah. No worries. I would pick sushi as well if I'm given the chance to pick between sushi and biryani. And if you know biryani, it's like the tacos for us.
Okay.
Right.
What is it made out of? Is it made out of?
It's like rice with meat,
Okay.
But it's like chicken biryani. You can Google it. Like it's in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all these countries.
Perfect.
But I'm not really great at describing the ingredients. But it's basically rice, potato, chicken. But the rice is cooked in a very special way. It's not white. It's not even brown. It just looks very different. And the scent is very filled with aroma. The scent alone will make you go crazy. You would crave for that.
Okay, I'll definitely look it up. I'll try to see if there's any place that sells it here in Mexico City.
I think there will be. Yeah. In the US, there is definitely.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so since you mentioned you went to Japan, right? Which other countries did you visit?
I lived briefly in France and the US and Mexico. But visiting, I've been to the Dominican Republic, Canada, and Spain very briefly, just like the coast next to France. And I think that's it.
Okay, so when you went to Spain, they also speak in Spanish, but they have their own dialect, right? What is the contrast, like your Spanish versus the European Spain Spanish?
So there's always this fight whenever I meet any Spanish, especially male. They always say we talk wrong, but basically, from what I've been told, I could be wrong, but basically, Spain Spanish is a lot more informal, whereas Mexican Spanish, since it was taught, or we brought the same type of Spanish that was being used, I don't know, 100 years ago. So we still use that formal, old-fashioned Spanish.
Oh.
So ours is, we talk, and similar to French, how you can talk to someone with the formal tense, we talk to each other in a formal tense. Whereas in Spain, obviously the accent is different and our slang is very different as well. They'll use some slang words that I don't even understand what they are. And we'll use slang words. They're like, why would you ever use that in a sentence? Yeah.
Okay, but would you say like you understand them like what, 90%, or what's the number?
Yes, I'd say 90%. They probably understand us less. They'd probably understand us like an 85, but I think I understand. There's some regions where their accent is a little tough, and just personally, I'm still new to some accents. Even in Mexico, if you go to the north, south, or you move anywhere in the country, the accents are very different, and sometimes it's hard to understand people, but just because I can't really make out what they're saying.
Sure, and especially for you, you were like half American as well. You traveled around, so it would be, I can imagine, a little bit harder. So let's talk about your country, Mexico.
Yes.
Let's start with the flag, okay? So I really like the flag of Mexico because of the eagle. It's like kind of holding on to a snake or something. So could you describe the meaning behind it? Because I'm always curious to know the meaning, the significance.
So here in Mexico City, before it was a city, it was a lake. And the story says that when indigenous people were trying to conquer the territory, they saw a eagle fighting or eating a snake. So that for them was a godlike symbol that this is where they should create Mexico or settle down. So that's why it became part of our flag, and it's just a beautiful flag. I think it's something so powerful. Whenever I see it, I think I feel a really great sense of pride, and it's just beautiful.
It is beautiful, yeah, honestly. When you said the people, like, were they the Aztecs or some
I
of the
believe they were the Aztecs, yes. I believe. I could be wrong. They could be the Mayan, but I'm pretty sure it's the Aztecs.
All right.
I never really studied Mexican history
It's okay.
in school, because I did grow up in the States, but I believe they were the Aztecs. You guys can fact check me in the comments.
Sure. Oh, you did grow up in the States, so we shouldn't, expect that you would know the history that much. But,
I should as a citizen, though. I feel like I should.
Yeah, but, when I saw some documentaries on YouTube about these ancient civilizations, because it's something that interests me to know where did humanity come from and, all of that. There were mentions of them, partaking in some rituals. I mean,
oh yes, games.
Human sacrifice included. So, like, do you think these are mythology, or how much of these are actually facts, like history? Yeah.
No, they're all facts. Yes. I forgot the exact name for the game, but being sacrificed in those times was an honor. It was a symbol of great pride and joy for families. Like, if you were chosen to be sacrificed, you were chosen to go directly into their other world, like their greater purpose world. So it was a great honor, and they did do it. Yeah, very often.
Have you seen The Vikings? It's a series.
Yes, I saw it briefly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's one. I liked that series. So in that series, it's similar. When they offer human sacrifice, they believe they're going to Valhalla, which is like their heaven. So I get the idea now. It was like voluntary, and it was an honor.
Yes. Sometimes they would do games here, and the winning team, they would be the ones that were sacrificed. So they would play to win, to be able to be sacrificed.
Maybe it was like something like an annual thing, or people all around knew about it, right? Something like
I
the
don't know
Olympics.
how it was done, but I feel it was, you had to put a ball in a tiny little hoop sideways, but you weren't allowed to use your hands, so you had to use your body. It's a very difficult game, honestly,
Oh.
and for all to be playing it, I feel like it was pretty difficult.
Yeah, is that game played right like today anywhere?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
Just
okay.
because of the sacrifice part of it. Maybe there are some indigenous communities that still
Uh-huh.
play it, but I'm unaware.
So like it was rooted to religious beliefs, like they had their religions, right? They prayed to
Mhm.
spirits and pagan religions, right? Like paganism, different pagan gods. Are they still active in Mexico as far as you know?
Yes. Okay. So there still are some indigenous communities here in
Hmm.
Mexico. They're a lot smaller, of course, and they're not as pure, I guess. Some of them do go to schools or participate in like the cities closest to them,
Hmm.
but there are. So, yes, there's a lot of traditions that are still kept. You can actually, around Christmas time, there's a lot of, I'm forgetting the word right now. Oh, parades. There's a lot of parades,
Mm-hmm.
and the indigenous people come out and they come out with their formal dress wear and they dance in a certain manner to like present their culture to the city.
Is it like a carnival?
Kind of. It's more related to celebrating the city or the town. For example, most cities in Mexico, they have a special day that's their like a holiday per se. So on that day, they will throw a parade and school kids from schools will go and show what they've learned throughout the year, maybe through a dance, maybe through a synchronized like movement, maybe just by marching, and the indigenous community will go out as well. So different types of organizations will go and to do the parade.
Okay. Have you ever seen any of these parades in your life?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So my mom's from a very small town that's called San Luis de la Paz, Guanajuato. And in Christmas time in December, the first 12 days of December, I believe, they do different parades. So different people will come out. There'll be a parade for truck drivers. There'll be a parade for
Whoa.
the indigenous people. There'll be a parade for all the schools.
Mm.
And that's, I've seen those.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Why truck drivers? Like, is it a big community?
I guess it is. I mean, there's a
mean,
lot of truck drivers, and they all go and they're with their trailer trucks, and
Okay.
and they all are beep. I think that's my least favorite one, just because they're all beeping their horns really loud.
Mhm.
There's another one for all the farmers as well, and they'll all go in
Oh.
their tractor trucks, and that's fun too.
Okay. There's like music and celebration.
Yeah,
kind of
normally
vibe.
they'll put the music,
Oh.
like the people who are walking, but yeah.
Okay. Speaking of music, what's the music like in Mexico? Like in Spanish? What's something that makes it different from the American music to you?
I think culture has influenced a lot. For example, here in Mexico, there are two, I'd say, unique styles that only belong to Mexico, which is mariachi, which is the stereotypical group of people with the
Hats.
suits and the big hats,
Right.
and a lot of instruments. And then there's like regional banda, which is like a regional band, and it's a mix between country music and, I guess I would say, mariachi, but they talk about, I guess, events that are going on within Mexico. Most of them are about love, like most songs, and others are about events that are going on here in Mexico. So I think those two are the most unique to Mexico, but we have reggaeton that we always love. I think the whole world right now is loving reggaeton with Bad Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have like an 80s, 70s type music that's really in style, which is, if you guys have ever heard of Luis Miguel, I think he's a big
Yeah, I
face of
know.
that.
I know
Like,
him.
oh, you know Luis Miguel?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So
YouTube
he's really
is very popular here.
Really?
Yeah, like
That's so
me personally, I love exploring foreign music, like in different
Yeah.
languages. Spanish is one of the most beautiful languages to me. So yeah, he's definitely one of the top.
That's so cool. Yeah, he's known here as the son of Mexico, like the actual son of
Oh,
Mexico,
I didn't know this.
like the solar son, not the child, the solar
Very-
son of Mexico.
Very fitting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the language that you speak in. How many languages do you understand?
I speak 3. So I speak English, French, and Spanish. And ironically, I learned French before I learned Spanish. So I studied French for 10 to 15 years, and I've learned Spanish, I think, for the last 5 years.
So you studied French. Was it because of your school, like academics?
Yes.
Okay.
I studied it through school 1st.
Is it something that everyone studies in your school, or did you just pick that
You had
subject?
an option.
Okay.
You could study Japanese, French, or Greek. And I think everyone going the legal route, for example, if you wanted to be a lawyer, they would all study Greek. And I just studied French because it sounded very pretty and I wanted to go to France one day.
Okay. No, that's
Spanish is also an option, but I never thought about it.
I didn't know like Greek is needed for, you said legal, like law, people studying to be a lawyer.
There's a lot of legal terms in the US law that
Comes from
found
Greek.
themselves on Greek. Like so it's not like Greek is exactly in the legal world, but the words come from, I guess, Greek or derived from Greek.
I got you. Yeah. I was more thinking like the Bible or people studying theology or, religion. People, they also like to study some Greek too.
That's smart as well. Yeah.
I just know bonjour in French. How do they say that?
Yeah, bonjour.
Okay, yeah. Yours is perfect. And,
no, it's not.
And
My
merci.
teacher will tell you yes. Merci. Wait.
Oh, wow. No, you sound French now.
Oh.
Anyway. But yeah,
We'll
I'm glad to have you because, I think I didn't give you my channel link or anything.
I think you did, yeah.
I did.
I saw some videos.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I did already. So this is what's up about my channel, language exchange, culture exchange. So I think having you is a perfect episode to, have a podcast on. So let's talk about Spanish. The language is very beautiful, right? Let's start with the numbers. So
Okay.
I know uno, dos, tres,
Cuatro.
Something.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's
Okay.
good. You did good. The pronunciation's pretty good.
Okay. I just know this because, there used to be a cartoon called Dora the Explorer.
Yes. I was a big fan.
Okay. I hated Dora because she
Really?
she used to be like, do you see the car behind me? And then she used to wait. And we had to say yes, it just made me feel like so stupid. But anyway, I know it's for kids. But it was funny at the same time. But yeah, in that cartoon, they used to use a lot of Spanish words. So that's how I know some, like gracias, de nada, right? Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
¿Cómo estás? Muy bien.
Yeah. That's good. You know a lot.
I forgot a lot of things though. But yeah, I'm just forgetting.
I think you know.
Buenos dias.
Por favor.
Buenas noches. Yeah, those are the good morning, good night, right?
Yeah. Por favor is important, which is please.
Please, yeah, por favor. How do you say sorry? I forgot.
Perdón.
Perdón. Pardon, right? Te quiero. I heard it in songs.
You did it. Te quiero.
Yeah. Okay, what's the difference between te quiero and te amo?
So there's a lot of levels of, I think that's why Mexican men are so passionate. There's a lot of different ways to say and different levels of liking. So you can say me gustas, which is I like you. Te quiero, which is like a intermediate level of I like you and I love you, which is te amo. So te amo's up here, and then we have te quiero, which is I guess I really like you.
Is it like situationship?
No. You can say that to you can say that to anyone. You can say that with friends, your partner, your.
It's like habibi
family.
In Arabic, maybe.
Yeah. No. I think it's more of it's just like a level of liking, because you can also say me encantas, which is like I'm enchanted by you, and that's actually a lot more normal to say in Spanish, I guess, than it is in English. I don't think in English you'd say, "Oh, I'm enchanted by you." Like you would never say that naturally, but here you do. You would say, "I'm encantas." Like I love it. So I guess there's more ways. I can think of another one. Me fascinas. That one's not that common actually.
What does it mean?
I think those are the 4 main ones. Me fascinas is like I'm fascinated by you.
Oh, okay.
I think those are the 4 main ones. Like me gustas, te quiero, te amo, y me encantas.
Okay. How do you say what's the time, or asking about the time in Spanish?
¿Qué hora es?
What?
¿Qué hora es?
Okay. ¿Qué hora es? How do you say like express the food is yummy, delicious, like something like that.
La comida es muy rica. O la comida está rica.
La comida está rica.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay. How do you say, I know you say gracias for thanks. Is there any other form of thank you, maybe?
I don't think so,
Or
actually.
it's the same. Gracias.
Yeah, mostly you can say
Mucho gracias.
te lo agradezco, which means like I'm grateful for
Oh,
that.
Okay.
But you can normally you just say gracias.
Okay. And then, I know how are you is como estás, but what's up? What's going on? Like, how do you say in different ways for how are you?
¿Cómo estás? If you want like slang, no. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? You can say, is everything okay? Like,
Oh.
¿todo bien?
You all right?
Like, are you okay? But that's more of like if you feel like the other person isn't okay.
Okay.
So
Oh.
like, are you okay?
How do you say, like, my name is Saf? Like, my name is, yeah.
Mi nombre es
Saf.
Saf. Mi nombre
Mi
es
nombre
Itza.
es. Okay.
Or you can say me llamo Itza, which is me llamo es.
Me amo. What's your
Me
name? What is your name?
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
And then you could say mi nombre es Itza, or you could say me llamo Itza.
Okay. Mucho gusto. Is it like nice to meet you? Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you can also say encantada or encantado. Like, I'm happy to meet you. That's kind of a little bit more Spanish, I believe. But you can say, for example, we just met. Mi nombre es Itza. O soy Itza. You can even say, I am Itza. Soy Itza.
So,
So, for example, I say, soy Itza. You say, me llamo Saf. Encantada. I would say encantada, which is happy to meet you, kind of.
Okay. I know sí means yes. What about no?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Yes.
How do you say like never? Like no, like
Nunca.
never.
Nunca. Nunca or jamás.
How do you say exactly, absolutely, like these kinds of words? For sure.
Exacto. Exacto. Absolutely. Claro. Absolutamente. I think claro is the most used one. Like claro, you just say it like of course, kind of like that.
And what
Or
else?
obvio, you can say obvio is a really, really, really used one, or used term. It's kind of slang in Mexico. A lot of people use it. It's kind of just to say obviously, but it's obvio. I love it.
No, it sounds cool. Speaking of slangs, like I think I covered most of the basic terms that we would want to know. But could you please teach us some slangs that you think is useful to speak with natives from Mexico or from any Spanish-speaking country?
I would start with obvio, and then I'd go with neta, which is something super Mexican, which means it's kind of asking really. So if anyone says neta, you have to say it with like that connotation, like kind of a question. Neta, it's asking really? What? For real? Neta? What else? Let's think. I don't really know that much. Like I know some, but it's not gonna come to my mind right now. I probably should have thought about this, but I'd say I don't know. I feel I can't lie.
No, it's okay. Take time.
I'll look at my phone real quick to see my conversations to see
Sure.
something. But I think claro, neta, obvio. ¿Cómo crees? I think it's like, I don't know if it's slang, but it's another phrase, I guess, used, which is, it's kind of asking like, do you believe? Ooh, I know another slang. Aguas. This is funny. Whenever Mexicans want to say be careful, they scream aguas. And it doesn't mean be careful. It means water.
Okay, interesting.
So, aguas, like waters. Like, and I think it goes back to when people used to throw water like from their balcony or from their house, and they would scream aguas because water was coming down. But you say it for everything. Like if you're crossing the street or if you're gonna fall, they'll be like aguas, aguas. That's one of my favorite ones. I'll think of more, but those are the ones that come in.
No, those are good. Those are actually handy as well. Neta in my language means leader, and
leader.
awas in my language means sound. So just wanted to tell you. Yeah, these are words in
Really?
my language also.
Sound?
Yeah,
Sound. Okay.
sound and leader. Neta means leader.
Leader. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
like we had the elections here just yesterday, so we have a new neta now. You know, you
I
can ask
see.
a Bengali who's your neta, and that just basically means who's your leader.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's mostly used in political sense, like president or prime minister, that kind of
Really?
scenario. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
So, okay, one more thing I need to talk about. Yeah, so these languages and slangs, they might be impressionable from watching shows or soap operas like Mexican telenovelas. People watch that around the world, just outside of Mexico mostly, I think. It's the same with most countries' shows. Like if you watch Turkish series or Korean series, these are popular series as well. But if you ask someone from Korea or Turkey, they're going to say, we don't watch that. So similarly, yeah, many people, like in my experience, many people I know from Turkey and South Korea, they're not big fans of the series from their countries. It's just more popular with the foreign audience,
Okay.
Yeah, so I think similarly with the Mexican telenovelas, I see on YouTube, like the comment section, most people are from like not Mexican or not from Spanish speaking countries. Yeah, so they watch these shows and they get to learn some of these words. So, how is the popularity of these shows in your country, in your knowledge right now?
Honestly, I grew up on them,
Yeah.
but mostly because but it's definitely something from an older generation. Like my grandmother was in love with these shows, and so was my aunts and uncle. Even my mom was in love with some of them. So, but now it's not as common. I think these shows have developed a little bit more to try to be more friendly towards like younger generations. But I will say there is a large community in Mexico that still watches these. They are normally older women, but there is a lot of people who do it.
Okay. If you want to attend your dog, you're welcome. Like maybe
No, it's
you're
okay. Someone knocks on the door and he wants to go see who it is, but it's okay.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry. Special appearance.
Oh, we have two guests now.
Two guys, yes. He is people.
Yeah, does he speak Spanish or English?
He speaks both.
Oh,
So some of his commands are in English and some of them are in Spanish. Whenever I want to talk nicely to him, I speak to him in Spanish. And when I want to be mean, or not mean, but I want to tell him to do things, I'll speak to him in English.
English, okay.
Yeah.
So you're nice in Spanish and kind of strict in
Mean.
English. Yeah, mean.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Strict is probably a better word. I don't want people to think I'm mean to him, but
No,
yeah.
I know. I've always
Yeah.
wondered, like, if two dogs from like different countries meet, do they understand each other?
I think so. I think there is common knowledge because this is going to sound funny. My dog isn't the most social dog, but I do think he gets along more with dogs that understand English. I don't know. I could be crazy. We'll have to put it to the test. We'll see.
No, that's something I think it makes sense also because even if they don't speak the same way, and when I say speak, I mean like bark or whatever, but
bark.
even, the movements that they do, the posture or gesture, in different cultures, they mean different things. So maybe they're used to a certain gesture that if they do to a Chinese dog, it might come out the wrong meaning or something, like they might get the wrong message. So, just saying, I think that's very interesting. For example, was it in my Mexican friend, someone told me like doing this or this is this something?
Ooh, we do this. Mexicans do this.
Oh, what is
means
that?
yes. This means yes. So if you see anyone doing this means yes. Or we're very, very communicative with our faces and our bodies. So no will like no. Says yes. What else? If you put, I don't know if I want to do it, but if you put your hand in a fist and raise it to the sky, that's an offense. That's like saying F you.
Hand?
But it has to be your fist. Like I don't want to do it.
Oh, like this?
And you do it to the air.
Oh my God.
Kind of
and here it's like you're giving a slogan, you know?
But I'll do this. Like it's kind of just like you have to do that.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I had no idea. But yeah, these are interesting. Different cultures have different, you know,
So you don't really
forbidden.
do this if you want to say yes. It's more like yes, no, the one I showed you. What else? If you do this, it's like this means más o menos, which is another slang. It literally means more or less, more or less, more or less. It
Okay.
is just like it's okay,
Okay.
kind of. It's kind of a kind of.
So, as a Mexican American, like, do you know anything about Bangladesh or anything about South Asian culture in general?
Very, very little. The only Asian countries I've been to is Japan and Thailand. So I'm not as knowledgeable as I'd like to be.
Sure.
But I'm open to learn. I'm always welcome to learn and try. I love trying new foods. I think that's the one way that I love learning about different cultures is trying different foods and learning about foods from different regions. So I'm definitely going to try to look for yours. Maybe I'll find it today, the one that you told me.
Yeah, I mean, if your spice tolerance is good, I think you will enjoy it. Although I do prefer seafood and raw fish, as you mentioned, like with sushi, I love the Pan Pacific cuisine. I think it's called Pan Pacific, or in general, like the Asian cuisine, East Asian. But like South Asian is like spicy and a lot of. Sometimes it can be oily, and I don't like oily food personally. But I can try any food in the world. So, are you someone who can eat any kind of food in the world, or do you have some types that you just hate or you just don't want to eat?
No, I will try anything. I will. My stomach isn't as open as I. Sometimes my stomach does get a little bit upset with like more heavy foods, but it hasn't been that bad often. Like this last year, when I moved to Mexico, I was sick for a full year because my body was adapting to the food here. Because the food here is a lot heavier. It's probably not as clean as it is in the States, and it's a lot more spice oriented. So it took me a full year to adapt to the food, but I haven't had any troubles this last year. And I think I'm open to anything. I love new foods.
Do you know they eat cats in Vietnam?
I did not.
Okay. So, are you open to any food?
Okay, maybe not that. Maybe not cats. Maybe not something I would have in my house.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
about that? Like,
Right.
as a pet. No cats, no dogs, and maybe no horses. I think that's it.
Oh, interesting. I would never eat cats or dogs. I mean, I've never eaten horses, but I think they eat horse in Central Asia, like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, like those countries.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
It's
that's
very
why I mentioned
popular.
just because I like horseback riding and we grew up with horses. They're beautiful animals.
You wouldn't eat insects, right?
I would. Yeah, I've eaten
What?
insects. I've eaten crickets.
Crickets? Oh, okay.
The crickets are common here in Mexico. Yeah.
Okay. Some people eat locusts, if you know locust.
No.
Okay. It's popular in the Middle East as well, like fried locust.
Okay.
It's like protein, a lot of protein. Yeah.
Ooh. I'll give it a try.
I
would
mean,
try that.
I can understand crickets and locusts, but what about like the
Scorpions?
No. Scorpions are not insects, I think. Like the
Oh, no. They're
cockroaches, you know, the slimy ones.
Yeah, slimy. That's a good question. You're testing my limits.
Because you said you can eat anything, so yeah.
Maybe slimy. That was a good. Maybe it depends on how slimy, and it depends on how what the color is.
Gross. Okay.
Yeah, how disturbing the image is. I mean, I could try it if it looks not like a slimy worm. Like maybe if it's cut up into a nice plate or something.
Oh, presentation
Maybe. matters.
That's very true.
Yeah, I think presentation matters a lot. It tricks your brain for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that say I would never eat that if that was like brought to them in a very delicious looking set, people would eat that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like Fear Factor, like those kinds of shows?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay. Like you would do great in those shows, I think. It's like competitions, like different levels, and you gotta eat this to go to the next level. You know, people just give up on the way. If you cannot, you
Yeah.
lose the points. You don't get the money. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Have you ever seen the show Man vs. Wild?
I have not.
Bear Grylls.
I've heard of it. I've
Okay.
heard of it, but I've not seen it. Yeah.
Okay. That guy eats
I don't
everything.
know if I could do that. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
Have you ever went like on hiking or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my mom grew up on the farm, so I love camping. I love hiking. I love being in nature, but I could not do it to survive. I like camping when I bring my water and I have like I'm not.
And you
really
typically
camping.
have like people around you,
Yeah.
friends, family.
hmm
Would you ever go on a camping with one people only, like one person? You and that
Yeah,
person?
I've done that before as well. Yeah,
Oh, you
I've
have?
done it with
Okay.
an ex partner of mine. Yeah.
That's interesting. So like if something hypothetically like something happens to that partner, being lost or something, like walk me through like how would you survive, let's say a couple of days until you find your partner?
That is a hard question. How would I survive? I don't know if I could. I don't know. I would try to just walk to the closest civilization, or hopefully, I don't think I'd camp anywhere where I have camped somewhere where I don't have cell service, but I'm very close to cell service, or I'm very close to being able to get help. So I don't think I'd camp anywhere that's super isolated. I hope not.
You're not that
Hope so.
crazy. Okay. So,
I hope to never be in that situation.
some people they intentionally they want that kind of a thrilling experience, so they want to go do this in the corners of the world where it's the most dangerous. Have you camped in the States or in Mexico, you mean?
In both. I was a Girl Scout.
Wow.
So I camped in the States as well. They technically did show me some survival skills. I don't think I learned a lot of them, but yes. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast, on your show.
No, thank you so much for your time.
Let me get my phone. I want to take a video of us real quick. 1 second.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. Hi.
Oh, you're taking a video?
You're gonna be in my vlog. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Itza, for being on the podcast. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please follow her. This is her Instagram. And if you like this video, subscribe to Bangladeshi. This was your bird, Saf40, signing off for now.
Bye.